You're looking at the AUKEY DRS2 Dual Dash Cam. Special thanks to AUKEY for sending one of these to review. However, this is not a sponsored video, these are just our own thoughts. Okay, so here's some of the main features of the AUKEY DRS2. It has two cameras, a front-facing one and a rear-facing one. They're both 1080p and they're detachable, so you can use it as a rear view camera. It's pretty low profile, so it's nice and small. And it has an emergency recording mode. So if you get in a car accident or sudden deceleration, it will save your footage for you. So how easy is it to install? Well, pretty simple actually, unless you're a stickler about cable management. If you're just installing the front-facing camera with the rear camera pointing at you, you just need to run one of the cables into your USB car charger. Now, if you're installing the rear camera, you have to run the cable all the way to the back of the car, and that takes about 15 to 20 minutes depending on your experience. Everything is included in the package to help you install the DRS2. So it comes with a long cable, a 12-foot cable and a 21-foot cable. If you're just installing the front-facing camera, you only need the 12-foot. If you're gonna put the rear camera in the back, you would need to use the 20-foot cable. Now there are cable clips and a trim removal tool to kind of help you hide everything. Now something important to note is that these dash cams work best with high endurance SD cards. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use a regular SD card, and in fact, I have been using one for the past year and I haven't really had any issues, but if you wanna be super safe, go for the high endurance one because they're actually made for video monitoring purposes. Now, they're only a couple bucks more than regular SD cards, and I got this one on Amazon for like $10. Yeah, so the physical setup is not really too bad, and the digital setup is also just as good. There's only 4 buttons on the front of the device, and the menu system is pretty intuitive. Also, the little jingle still is there, so you know it's recording when you start your car. The design is pretty low profile, and I was able to hide it fully behind my rearview mirror, so I didn't notice it at all when I'm driving. Now, it actually is a little bit bigger than the DR02, but it makes up for that with the larger screen. Also, the swivel mechanism is a little bit better this time around. It's not perfect, but it's fine. Now, the most important part of any security camera is how well it actually works. So the video quality and the functionality of this thing are pretty important. And I have to say, it's pretty good. The 1080p footage is very clear and has a 170-degree field of view, so it's very wide. You can pretty much see everything. You don't really need to get much wider than that. Now, the removable rear view camera is also 1080p and it writes directly to the micro SD card. Now, all storage is local on this camera. There's no app. So the front-facing camera and the rear view camera are all writing to this. This continuously records footage and it will keep recording until it runs out of storage space on your micro SD card. However, once you do run out of storage, it will just overwrite the footage. Now, if you get in a collision, you don't need to worry because there is an emergency lock footage feature that detects collisions or sudden deceleration.
Okay, so this is an audio test of the AUKEY DRS2. You can hear this is roughly how it's gonna sound if you're recording audio. Personally, I always have it muted, but you can also see the field of view. It's pretty wide, and the IR sensors are making my shirt look purple, even though my shirt is currently black.
The rear camera of the DRS2 has 2 IR LEDs and an IR sensor to help out with nighttime recording. Now, the footage looks pretty good to us, but we'll let you judge for yourself. The DRS2 is powered by the included USB cable, so it's always on as long as your car is on. However, there is an included battery, but it only engages when you turn your car off, so it has time to save the footage. I think it's safe to assume that the main audience for the DRS2 are professional drivers, such as Uber or Lyft, because of the driver-facing camera. In fact, it's even called the AUKEY Dual Dash Cam Uber 3-in-1 on Amazon. I only really have one real complaint with the DRS2, well, besides the fact that every time I pull this off, it feels like I'm breaking it. But the rear view camera is kind of a pain to install because you have to use a 21-foot cable to wire it all the way to the back of your car. However, it's hard to knock them for that because really, what are your other options? In conclusion, should you buy the AUKEY DRS2 Dual Dash Camera at $150? Well, it depends. If you really like the driver-facing camera and the fact that it's detachable for a rear-facing camera, then it probably is a good option for you. In addition, the IR LEDs and sensor are a nice perk. However, depending on your needs, there are other options out there. For example, the AUKEY DR02 can be found for $50 quite regularly. We see it on Slickdeals all the time. There's also the DR02D, which has two separate cameras, a front one and a rear one. It's not detachable like this. So overall, if the driver-facing camera is important to you, you probably want to go for this model. Also, if night vision is really crucial, then we would also recommend the DRS2. If this video helped you decide to buy an AUKEY DRS2 or a different dash camera, let us know in the comments below and throw us a like and subscribe.